Hey guys, welcome to Fast News. I am Brandon. Most of you guys probably know that already. This is actually like my third or fourth attempt, and it finally worked. I was having a couple issues earlier, but that is okay. You guys know the drill. Let's get this shared. So, we're actually going to join you tonight with some breaking news here, and we're going to let some people get in, as we always do, and then we're going to get into, we got some breaking news, and then we're going to get into our script. So let's let some people get in. I hope everybody is having a great night. So we come at you with some breaking news to start, and we will, of course, rally back to this at the end. But it happened at around 6:15 today. So in Minneapolis, 3 blocks away from where George Floyd was killed by police officers, a man who officers say was a felony suspect was shot and killed by police during a reported road stop. It was reported by police that he fired at them first, and they fired back and killed him. There was a gun on the suspect, apparently, and there was a female passenger in the vehicle with him that was not harmed during the exchange. Now, this is an ongoing investigation, and even though there's no fast news tomorrow, as this is the last fast news of the year, I will probably go live and talk about that tomorrow if there is any developments at the latest 2 days from now. So let's get into our scripted kind of stuff first. Our first story is about the Buffalo Bills, who will be in the playoffs and have won the AFC East for the first time in 25 years. Well, for the first time all season at a home playoff game, nonetheless, Bills will be allowed to have fans. 6,772 fans will be allowed in the stadium, and Andrew Cuomo will reportedly be in attendance. Tickets will be offered to season ticket holders at first. If there are any left over, then they will be made available to the public. These tickets are non-transferable, which means you will not be able to scalp tickets to the game before the game, like normal. You will have to take a COVID test, and the test must be negative. The test will be available. The test has to be within 72 hours of the game and will be available in the parking lot. And it's drive-through test only. And of course, masks are required at the game the second you leave the car till the second you get in. Let's get into our second story here. Our second story is about Gabriel Taylor. Gabriel Taylor was an 8-year-old who was bullied so badly in school he committed suicide. This is a sad story. However, a court just ruled his parents can move forward with their lawsuit against the Cincinnati School District. The lawsuit charges school officials with intentional and neglectful infliction of emotional distress and failure to report child abuse. The lawsuit also alleges the bullying started in 1st grade and peaked in 3rd grade when Gabriel took his own life. It alleges the school was aware of it and did nothing, and either did not inform or underinformed the parents. Gabriel committed suicide on January 26th of 2017. On January 24th, there was an incident in school where students punched, kicked him, and even threw him against a wall, knocking him unconscious, according to his parents. He took a day off school the next day and went back the 26th. Apparently, the bullying continued, and he took his own life that night. And it's a heartbreaking story, and there really is probably no justice in this for the parents, but, you know, that whole story breaks my heart, guys, and a big reason why I don't like bullies. That is a really sad story. Let's get into the next story here. 23-year-old Sidney Watson was arraigned in Buffalo City courts this morning. He is facing second-degree murder charges and second-degree criminal weapon possession charges. Watson is accused of fatally shooting 36-year-old Paris Warren Jr. on June 2nd of 2018 around 3 in the morning. He faces 25 to life if found guilty, and he will be back in court January 5th. So a couple weeks ago, if you're on my personal Facebook, maybe you watched it, I posted a video of a Boston police officer caught on police body camera bragging about hitting protesters with his vehicle. Well, according to insiders that reported to the Boston Globe, his name is Sergeant Clifton McHale. He is a 32-year veteran of, policing and 23 years veteran Boston Police. With family ties, of course, to the command of Boston PD. And, well, as it turns out, he has quite a record on the force. So let's review it. In 2005, McHale was accused of sexually assaulting an intoxicated woman in uniform in a police vehicle. Let me repeat that. He's accused of sexually assaulting an intoxicated woman in uniform in a police vehicle. And he's still a cop today. Okay. We'll continue with the story, but I just want to make that part clear. He was working at a local bar that night. He met a woman. He met the woman and offered her a ride to her hotel. What a nice guy, right? Well, instead of taking her to the hotel, he brought her to an alleyway. She was reportedly passed out in the car at the time, and she woke up being assaulted by McHale. McHale has maintained that this encounter was consensual. The DA at the time, attorney Daniel F. Colony, was considering a criminal case against McHale before it was determined to have insufficient evidence, although some critics have pointed to McHale's strong family ties to Boston Police Command. An IA investigation concluded that he did, in fact, engage in inappropriate sexual relations with a highly intoxicated woman. McHale also admitted to his own accord to violating the rules on take-home police vehicles and failing to properly secure his weapon. After an investigation, after all this mess, he agreed to a 1-year unpaid suspension from the force. He was promoted a little while after getting back from the suspension, and last year he made $210,954, including $61,375 in overtime and detail pay. Do you feel safe, Boston? All right, and to close out our scripted stories before we head back to our breaking news that we started with, to close out our night, we reported last night that Detective Joshua Gines received a pre-termination letter Tuesday from Interim Chief Yvette Gentry. Detective Mila Cosgrove has also received the same letter, essentially warning, and they were both involved in the Gabriel Taylors case. That's why we're talking about this. Essentially warning them both of their firing, but because they are part of a union, they are allowed a hearing before firings are official, which is why they are pre-termination letters. And they have the right to a union-paid attorney and a union court process and all this before they lose their job as part of the union, as we gone over yesterday. Detective Mila Cosgrove failed to properly identify a target when he fired 16 rounds into Breonna Taylor's apartment the night Louisville Metro Police fatally shot her, according to a copy of his pre-termination letter. Interim Chief Yvette Gentry found Cosgrove violated Louisville's Metro Police Department's procedures for his use of force and failing to use a body camera during the March 13th raid. Cosgrove, the FBI concluded, fired the shot that killed Taylor, hitting her pulmonary artery. But his round sprayed the apartment, and he wasn't certain that he was shooting what he was shooting at, according to the letter. So, like I said a few weeks ago with those Breonna Taylor investigations, they're going to go on for a while, and they're all independent of each other. So it's going to be interesting to see the differences and how all those play out. Now, let's talk about the breaking news we started off with. So, at around 6:15 today, outside of a Holiday gas station in Minneapolis, Minnesota, only about 3 blocks away from where George Floyd was killed by police, a suspect was shot and killed by police. Now, officers say he fired at them first. There was also a female passenger in the vehicle. Female passenger was not hurt, nor were any of the officers, but they did recover a gun off the man. Now, this is an ongoing investigation. There is a lot of conflicting reports coming about it. This is the official report from the police that we are giving you. And as more... Yeah, So protests have already started. This is an ongoing investigation. We'll talk about it later on. Happy New Year's, guys. If I don't see you before then, I love all of you. You guys have a great day. Sale, you want to say something? No, Sale doesn't want to say anything. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. I love all of you, and I have a special surprise for you coming out in 2 days.